Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Case studies in digital discourse analysis. Case studies in discourse analysis and digital media provide valuable insights into how language and communication practices shape and are shaped by digital environments. This exploration examines 5 notable studies conducted by Norman Fairclough, Toon A. van Dijk, Sherry Turkle, Henry Jenkins, and Jean Burgess. Each case study offers a unique perspective on the intersection of discourse and digital media, focusing on topics such as political discourse, media manipulation, online identity, participatory culture, and social media storytelling. 1. Norman Fairclough, 2013. Norman Fairclough, a prominent figure in the field of critical discourse analysis, CDA, conducted a study in 2013 that focused on analyzing political discourse on social media platforms. His work aimed to understand how language used in online political campaigns reinforces power dynamics and influences public perception. Study: Analysis of political discourse on social media platforms. Objectives: to analyze the language used in political discourse on social media. To identify how power dynamics are reinforced through online political campaigns. To understand the impact of social media on public perception and political engagement. Methodology: Fairclough's study utilized critical discourse analysis, CDA, to examine the linguistic and semiotic features of political discourse on social media platforms, particularly focusing on textual analysis, analyzing the vocabulary, grammar, and rhetorical strategies used in political posts and tweets. Discursive practices: investigating how political messages are produced, circulated, and consumed on social media. Social practices: exploring the broader social and political context in which online political discourse occurs. The study involved collecting and analyzing a corpus of social media posts from political campaigns, including tweets, Facebook posts, and other digital content. Focus: how language in online political campaigns reinforces power dynamics. Key findings: framing and persuasion. Political campaigns use specific framing techniques to present issues, candidates, and opponents in a particular light. This framing influences how the audience perceives and interprets political messages. For example, positive framing of a candidate's policies and negative framing of opponents' actions reinforce the campaign's desired narrative. Repetition and slogans. The use of repetition and catchy slogans helps reinforce key messages and make them more memorable. These linguistic strategies are designed to resonate with the audience and reinforce the campaign's power and influence. Appeals to emotion. Emotional appeals are frequently used to engage the audience and elicit strong reactions. Language that evokes fear, hope, pride, or anger can effectively mobilize supporters and shape public opinion. Identity construction. Political discourse on social media often involves the construction of collective identities. Politicians and campaigns use language to align themselves with certain groups and ideologies, reinforcing in-group and out-group dynamics. This can create a sense of belonging and solidarity among supporters while marginalizing opponents. Interaction and engagement. Social media allows for direct interaction between politicians and the public. This engagement can reinforce power dynamics by allowing politicians to control the narrative and respond to criticism in real time. However, it also opens up spaces for public discourse and counter-discourse, where power can be contested and negotiated. Examples: Twitter campaigns. Analysis of tweets from political campaigns revealed how language is used to reinforce power dynamics. For instance, the use of hashtags like #MAGA, Make America Great Again, created a powerful, resonant slogan that encapsulated the campaign's message and mobilized supporters. Facebook posts. Examination of Facebook posts showed how politicians use detailed explanations and emotional appeals to connect with voters. Posts often included personal stories, testimonials, and images designed to evoke emotional responses and reinforce the candidate's persona. Viral videos. Political campaigns frequently use viral videos to spread their messages. These videos combine visual and linguistic elements to create compelling narratives that can quickly reach a wide audience and reinforce the campaign's power and influence. Implications. Public perception. The study highlighted how political discourse on social media shapes public perception. The strategic use of language can manipulate public opinion and reinforce existing power structures. Political engagement. Social media platforms enable new forms of political engagement. While they provide opportunities for increased participation and democratization of political discourse, they also reinforce the power of those who can effectively use these platforms. Power dynamics. Fairclough's analysis revealed that online political campaigns often reinforce existing power dynamics by controlling the narrative, mobilizing support, and marginalizing opposition. However, these platforms also allow for counter-discourses that can challenge and contest these power structures. Norman Fairclough's 2013 study on political discourse on social media platforms provides valuable insights into how language used in online political campaigns reinforces power dynamics. By employing critical discourse analysis, Fairclough demonstrated the complex interplay between language, power, and social media, highlighting the ways in which political actors use language to shape public perception and maintain their influence. This case study underscores the importance of analyzing digital discourse to understand the broader implications of political communication in the digital age. 2. Toon A. van Dijk, 2015. Toon A. van Dijk, a leading scholar in the field of critical discourse analysis, CDA, conducted a study in 2015 that examined discourse and manipulation in online news media. His research focused on uncovering ideological biases in digital journalism and how these biases influence public perception and discourse. Study: Discourse and Manipulation in Online News Media. Objectives: to analyze how online news media manipulate discourse to reflect ideological biases. To identify the linguistic and rhetorical strategies used to shape public perception. To understand the impact of these strategies on readers' interpretation and beliefs. Methodology: Van Dijk's study employed critical discourse analysis, CDA, to systematically analyze online news articles, focusing on the following aspects. Textual analysis: examining vocabulary, syntax, and rhetorical devices used in news articles. Discursive practices: investigating the processes of news production, dissemination, and consumption, including editorial policies and journalistic practices. Social context: considering the broader social, political, and cultural contexts that influence and are influenced by news media discourse. The study involved collecting a corpus of online news articles from various digital news outlets, analyzing how these texts reflect and reinforce ideological positions. Focus: ideological biases in digital journalism. Key findings: framing and agenda setting. Van Dijk found that online news media often frame events and issues in ways that reflect their ideological biases. This framing can influence which aspects of a story are highlighted or downplayed, thereby shaping public perception and setting the agenda for public discourse. Lexical choices and connotations. The study revealed that lexical choices, word choice, carry connotations that reflect ideological stances. For example, terms like terrorist versus freedom fighter or illegal immigrant versus undocumented worker can significantly affect readers' perceptions. Quoting patterns. Analyzing the patterns of quotations and sources cited in news articles, Van Dijk found that sources aligned with the outlet's ideological stance were often given prominence, while opposing viewpoints were marginalized or presented less favorably. Narrative structures. The narrative structure of news stories, including the sequence of information and the emphasis on certain elements, can manipulate readers' understanding. For example, placing a particular viewpoint at the beginning or end of an article can lend it greater prominence. Visual elements. Images and multimedia elements accompanying news articles also play a role in reinforcing ideological biases. The choice of images, their captions, and their placement can influence how a story is interpreted. Examples: right-leaning versus left-leaning outlets. Van Dijk compared articles from right-leaning and left-leaning news outlets on the same events, such as political elections or immigration issues. He found significant differences in how these outlets framed the issues, the language they used, and the sources they cited. Coverage of social movements. The study examined coverage of social movements like Black Lives Matter. Right-leaning outlets often framed these movements as disruptive or violent, while left-leaning outlets highlighted issues of social justice and systemic inequality. International news. Van Dijk also analyzed how different outlets covered international events, such as conflicts and diplomatic issues. The ideological biases of the outlets influenced how they portrayed foreign actors and framed international relations. Implications. Influence on public perception. The study highlighted the significant impact of ideological biases in online news media on public perception. Readers' understanding of events and issues is shaped by the way news is presented, which can reinforce existing beliefs and polarize public opinion. Manipulation and propaganda. Van Dijk's analysis showed that ideological manipulation in news media can serve as a form of propaganda, subtly influencing readers' attitudes and behaviors in ways that align with the outlet's ideological goals. Critical media literacy. The findings underscore the importance of critical media literacy, equipping readers with the skills to identify and critically evaluate ideological biases in news media. This can help mitigate the effects of manipulation and promote a more informed public discourse. Toon A. Van Dijk's 2015 study on discourse and manipulation in online news media provides a comprehensive analysis of how ideological biases are embedded in digital journalism. By employing critical discourse analysis, Van Dijk uncovered the linguistic and rhetorical strategies used to shape public perception and reinforce ideological positions. This case study highlights the need for critical media literacy and awareness of the subtle ways in which news media can influence public discourse and beliefs. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for fostering a more informed and critically engaged society. 3. Sherry Turkle, 2011. Sherry Turkle, a renowned scholar in the field of technology and society, conducted a seminal study in 2011 focusing on online identity and relationships. Her work examined how virtual communication affects real-world social interactions, exploring the profound implications of digital technologies on personal and social dynamics. Study: Online Identity and Relationships. Objectives: to understand how individuals construct and manage their identities in online environments. To analyze the impact of virtual communication on real-world relationships and social interactions. To explore the psychological and social consequences of pervasive digital communication. Methodology: Turkle's study utilized a qualitative approach, drawing on extensive interviews, participant observation, and analysis of digital interactions. Key methods included interviews, conducting in-depth interviews with individuals across different age groups and backgrounds to gather personal narratives about their online and offline lives. Participant observation, observing interactions in various online communities, including social media platforms, virtual worlds, and online forums. Textual analysis, analyzing digital communication texts such as emails, social media posts, and chat logs to understand the nuances of online discourse. The study involved both teenagers and adults to capture a broad perspective on the impact of digital communication across different life stages. Focus: how virtual communication affects real-world social interactions. Key findings: construction of online identity. Turkle found that individuals often create and manage multiple online personas, which may differ significantly from their real-world identities. This process allows people to explore different facets of themselves, experiment with new behaviors, and express parts of their identity that might be suppressed offline. Anonymity and expression. The anonymity afforded by digital communication can lead to more open and honest expression. However, it can also result in disinhibition, where individuals say or do things online that they would not in face-to-face interactions. Impact on relationships. Turkle's study revealed that while digital communication can enhance connectivity and maintain relationships over long distances, it can also lead to superficial interactions and reduced face-to-face communication. This shift can affect the depth and quality of relationships. Social connectivity versus isolation. Virtual communication creates a paradox of being alone together. People are constantly connected through their devices but may feel isolated and disconnected in their real-world interactions. The pervasive presence of digital communication can interrupt in-person conversations and diminish the quality of real-world interactions. Psychological implications. The study highlighted various psychological impacts, including increased anxiety and stress due to constant connectivity and the pressure to maintain an online presence. Additionally, the comparison to idealized online representations of others can affect self-esteem and self-worth. Examples. Teenage socialization. Among teenagers, Turkle observed that social media plays a central role in socialization. Teens often curate their online profiles to present an idealized version of themselves, which can create pressure to live up to these expectations in real life. Online interactions can also lead to cyberbullying and social anxiety. Adult relationships. For adults, virtual communication can both facilitate and hinder relationships. While platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn help maintain connections, they can also lead to misunderstandings and a lack of genuine intimacy. Turkle found that some adults rely heavily on digital communication, even within close relationships, leading to a sense of emotional distance. Workplace communication. In professional settings, Turkle noted that digital communication tools like email and instant messaging can enhance efficiency but also contribute to a blurring of boundaries between work and personal life. This can lead to burnout and stress as individuals feel the need to be constantly available. Implications. Identity exploration. The ability to construct and experiment with online identities can be empowering, particularly for marginalized groups. However, it also raises questions about authenticity and the potential for deception. Quality of interactions. While digital communication offers convenience and immediacy, it may not always support the same depth of interaction as face-to-face communication. This can impact the quality of personal and professional relationships. Mental health. The constant connectivity and pressure to present a curated online identity can have significant mental health implications, including stress, anxiety, and depression. It is crucial to find a balance between online and offline interactions to maintain psychological well-being. Social norms and etiquette. The study underscores the need for new social norms and etiquette to navigate the complexities of digital communication. This includes understanding the appropriate use of digital devices in social settings and recognizing the importance of presence in real-world interactions. Sherry Turkle's 2011 study on online identity and relationships provides a comprehensive analysis of how virtual communication affects real-world social interactions. Through in-depth qualitative research, Turkle highlighted the complexities and paradoxes of digital communication, revealing its profound impact on personal and social dynamics. Her work emphasizes the need to critically assess the role of digital technologies in our lives and to strive for a balance that enhances connectivity without compromising the quality of our real-world relationships. 4. Henry Jenkins, 2006. Henry Jenkins is a leading scholar in media studies known for his influential work on participatory culture. In his 2006 study, Jenkins explored how digital media fosters participatory culture, focusing on user-generated content and collaborative production in online communities. His research provides insights into the ways digital technologies enable new forms of cultural production and social interaction. Study: Participatory Culture in Digital Media. Objectives: to understand how digital media platforms support and encourage participatory culture. To analyze the dynamics of user-generated content and collaborative production in online communities. To examine the implications of participatory culture for media production, consumption, and social interaction. Methodology: Jenkins employed a combination of qualitative research methods, including ethnographic observation, observing online communities, and participatory practices to gain an in-depth understanding of how users interact and collaborate. Content analysis: analyzing user-generated content, such as fan fiction, videos, and forum posts, to identify common themes and production practices. Interviews: conducting interviews with key participants in various online communities to gather personal insights and experiences. The study focused on diverse online communities, including fan fiction writers, video game modders, and social media users, to capture a broad range of participatory practices. Focus: user-generated content and collaborative production in online communities. Key findings: democratization of media production. Jenkins found that digital media platforms significantly lower the barriers to entry for media production, enabling more people to create and share content. This democratization allows for a wider diversity of voices and perspectives in media. Collective intelligence. Online communities often operate on the principle of collective intelligence, where knowledge and skills are pooled together to create and improve content. This collaborative approach enhances the quality and diversity of user-generated content. Transmedia storytelling. Jenkins highlighted the prevalence of transmedia storytelling, where narratives unfold across multiple media platforms. Users contribute to and expand these narratives through their creations, leading to a richer and more immersive storytelling experience. Cultural convergence. Digital media facilitates the convergence of different cultural practices, enabling users to blend and remix various cultural forms. This convergence creates new hybrid cultural artifacts and practices. Social networking. Participatory culture is often supported by social networking features that facilitate communication, collaboration, and community building. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube enable users to connect, share, and collaborate on a global scale. Examples: fan fiction communities. Jenkins examined fan fiction communities where fans write and share stories based on existing media franchises. These communities exemplify participatory culture, as fans collaboratively build upon and expand the narratives of their favorite shows, books, and movies. Video game modding. The study also explored video game modding communities, where players create modifications, mods, to existing games. These mods can range from simple tweaks to complete overhauls, demonstrating the creative and collaborative potential of participatory culture. YouTube and social media. Jenkins analyzed the rise of YouTube and social media platforms as venues for user-generated content. From vlogs to viral videos, these platforms showcase the diverse ways users engage with and contribute to digital media. Implications. Shift in power dynamics. Participatory culture shifts the power dynamics of media production from traditional gatekeepers, e.g., media corporations, to individual users. This shift enables more democratic and inclusive media landscapes. Impact on traditional media. The rise of participatory culture challenges traditional media industries to adapt to new modes of production and consumption. Media companies must engage with their audiences in more interactive and collaborative ways. New forms of creativity. Digital media fosters new forms of creativity and cultural production. Users can experiment with different media forms, collaborate with others, and create hybrid cultural artifacts that reflect diverse influences. Educational potential. Participatory culture has significant educational potential, as it encourages active engagement, critical thinking, and collaborative learning. Educational institutions can leverage these practices to enhance learning experiences. Challenges and critiques. Despite its benefits, participatory culture also faces challenges, such as issues of intellectual property, quality control, and digital divide. Ensuring equitable access to digital tools and fostering inclusive communities remain important considerations. Henry Jenkins' 2006 study on participatory culture in digital media provides a comprehensive analysis of how user-generated content and collaborative production thrive in online communities. By examining diverse participatory practices, Jenkins highlighted the transformative potential of digital media to democratize cultural production, foster collective intelligence, and create new forms of social interaction. His work underscores the importance of understanding and supporting participatory culture in the digital age, recognizing both its opportunities and challenges for media, education, and society at large. 5. Burgess, 2013. Burgess, a prominent scholar in digital media studies, conducted a study in 2013 that examined social media storytelling. Her research focused on how narrative structures on platforms like Twitter and YouTube shape public discourse, offering insights into the ways digital storytelling influences and reflects societal trends and conversations. Study: Social media storytelling. Objectives: to analyze the narrative structures utilized in social media storytelling, to explore how these narratives shape and are shaped by public discourse, to understand the implications of digital storytelling for public engagement and communication. Methodology: Burgess's study utilized a combination of qualitative and quantitative methods to analyze social media content analysis, systematic coding and categorization of social media posts to identify common narrative elements and structures. Ethnographic observation: participating in and observing interactions on platforms like Twitter and YouTube to understand how users construct and share stories. Case studies: in-depth examination of specific social media campaigns or viral events to illustrate how narrative structures shape public discourse. The study focused on diverse examples of social media storytelling, including political campaigns, social movements, and popular culture phenomena. Focus: how narrative structures on platforms like Twitter and YouTube shape public discourse. Key findings: concise and fragmented narratives. On Twitter, the 140-character limit, at the time of the study, necessitated concise and often fragmented storytelling. Users employed hashtags, mentions, and retweets to link individual tweets into broader narratives, allowing for collective storytelling. Visual and multimodal storytelling. YouTube, with its emphasis on video content, enabled rich, multimodal storytelling. Creators used visuals, audio, and text to craft compelling narratives that could quickly spread and influence public discourse. Participatory and interactive narratives. Both platforms fostered participatory storytelling, where audiences could interact with and contribute to narratives. Comments, shares, and likes enabled users to engage with stories, shaping their evolution and reach. Ephemeral and persistent narratives. Social media platforms allowed for both ephemeral narratives, e.g., trending hashtags, viral videos, and more persistent narratives that continued to evolve over time, e.g., ongoing series on YouTube. Amplification and virality. The networked nature of social media facilitated the rapid amplification and virality of stories. A single tweet or video could be shared and viewed by millions, significantly shaping public discourse and opinion. Examples: political campaigns on Twitter. Burgess examined political campaigns on Twitter, highlighting how candidates and their supporters used the platform to construct and disseminate political narratives. Hashtags like #YesWeCan and #MAGA became central to these narratives, encapsulating complex political messages in concise, shareable formats. Social movements on YouTube. The study looked at social movements such as the anti-Occupy Wall Street movement, analyzing how activists used YouTube to share stories of protests, explain their goals, and mobilize support. Videos provided powerful visual evidence that could sway public opinion and garner international attention. Pop culture phenomena. Burgess also explored how pop culture phenomena, such as viral music videos or memes, spread across social media platforms. These narratives often combined humor, music, and visuals to create engaging content that resonated with wide audiences. Implications. Shaping public discourse. The narrative structures of social media storytelling play a crucial role in shaping public discourse. The way stories are constructed and shared on platforms like Twitter and YouTube can influence public opinion, drive social movements, and impact political outcomes. Democratizing storytelling. Social media platforms democratize storytelling by allowing anyone with internet access to create and share their narratives. This democratization can amplify diverse voices and perspectives, contributing to a more inclusive public discourse. Challenges of misinformation. The rapid spread of narratives on social media also poses challenges, such as the spread of misinformation and fake news. Understanding narrative structures can help identify and counteract misleading stories. Engagement and participation. Social media storytelling fosters active engagement and participation, enabling users to be not just consumers but also producers of content. This participatory culture enhances public engagement with current events and societal issues. Burgess's 2013 study on social media storytelling provides valuable insights into how narrative structures on platforms like Twitter and YouTube shape public discourse. By analyzing the ways in which users construct and share stories, Burgess highlighted the transformative potential of digital storytelling in influencing public opinion, driving social movements, and contributing to political campaigns. Her work underscores the importance of understanding the dynamics of social media narratives in the digital age, recognizing both their democratizing potential and the challenges they pose. This case study illustrates the complex interplay between digital media, storytelling, and public discourse, offering a comprehensive view of how social media platforms shape contemporary communication and engagement. Conclusion. The case studies by Fairclough, Dijk, Turkle, Jenkins, and Burgess illustrate the diverse ways in which digital discourse analysis can uncover the complexities of online communication. From examining power dynamics in political discourse to exploring the impacts of virtual communication on real-world relationships, these studies highlight the importance of critically analyzing digital media. By understanding these case studies, researchers can better appreciate the multifaceted nature of digital discourse and its profound effects on society. Frequently asked questions. What was the focus of Norman Fairclough's 2013 study on political discourse on social media platforms? Norman Fairclough's 2013 study focused on analyzing political discourse on social media platforms. The study examined how language used in online political campaigns reinforces power dynamics, looking at how politicians and political entities communicate, influence public opinion, and maintain control through digital discourse. How does Fairclough's study help understand power dynamics in online political campaigns? Fairclough's study helps understand power dynamics in online political campaigns by revealing how language and rhetoric are used to establish authority, persuade voters, and marginalize opposition. It highlights the strategic use of discourse to shape public perceptions and maintain political power in the digital age. What was Toon A. Van Dijk's 2015 study about, and what did it focus on? Toon A. Van Dijk's 2015 study examined discourse and manipulation in online news media. The study focused on identifying ideological biases in digital journalism, exploring how news media can shape public opinion and manipulate audiences through selective framing, language choices, and representation of events. How does Van Dijk's study contribute to our understanding of digital journalism? Van Dijk's study contributes to our understanding of digital journalism by uncovering the mechanisms through which news media can influence and manipulate public perception. It sheds light on the role of ideological biases and how they are embedded in news discourse, helping readers critically evaluate the information presented in online news sources. What was Sherry Turkle's 2011 study about, and what did it focus on? Sherry Turkle's 2011 study focused on online identity and relationships. The study examined how virtual communication affects real-world social interactions, exploring how people present themselves online, form relationships, and how these virtual interactions impact their offline lives. What insights does Turkle's study provide about virtual communication and social interactions? Turkle's study provides insights into how virtual communication can both enhance and hinder social interactions. It reveals the complexities of online identity formation, the challenges of maintaining genuine connections, and the potential for virtual interactions to influence real-world behavior and relationships. What was Henry Jenkins' 2006 study about, and what did it focus on? Henry Jenkins' 2006 study focused on participatory culture in digital media. The study examined user-generated content and collaborative production in online communities, exploring how digital platforms enable users to create, share, and remix content, fostering a culture of participation and collective creativity. How does Jenkins' study contribute to our understanding of participatory culture in digital media? Jenkins' study contributes to our understanding of participatory culture by highlighting how digital media empowers users to become active contributors rather than passive consumers. It emphasizes the collaborative nature of online communities and the impact of user-generated content on shaping media landscapes and cultural practices. What was Burgess' 2013 study about, and what did it focus on? Burgess' 2013 study focused on social media storytelling. The study examined how narrative structures on platforms like Twitter and YouTube shape public discourse, exploring how users create and share stories, and how these narratives influence collective understanding and engagement with social and political issues. What insights does Burgess' study provide about social media storytelling? Burgess' study provides insights into how social media platforms facilitate new forms of storytelling that are interactive, collaborative, and multimodal. It highlights the role of narrative structures in shaping public discourse, the ways in which stories can go viral, and their impact on public opinion and social movements. How do these case studies collectively enhance our understanding of digital media discourse? These case studies collectively enhance our understanding of digital media discourse by examining different aspects of how language and communication operate in online environments. They provide a comprehensive view of the power dynamics, identity construction, participatory culture, narrative creation, and ideological biases present in digital media, offering valuable insights for researchers, policymakers, and the public. How can the findings from these case studies be applied in practical contexts? The findings from these case studies can be applied in practical contexts by informing strategies for media literacy education, improving digital communication practices, developing more equitable and inclusive online platforms, and guiding policymakers in regulating digital media to ensure fair and unbiased discourse. They also help individuals critically engage with digital content and understand the broader implications of their online interactions.